Hello, welcome to my channel. In this tutorial I will show you how I converted an analog Fala bus to a digital bus with LED lights and satellite positioning. The first step is always to study the existing model and visualize where to install the new batteries, the decoder and the satellite receiver. I wanted to preserve the bus interior and have figures sitting inside the bus illuminated by interior light. These old batteries will be removed because I'm going to change over to the AAA NiMH batteries. After a long study, I decided to install the AAA batteries not in the current location of the current batteries, but between the seats and in the center of the bus for better stability. And under the seats, where now were the flat batteries, and where in the real world is the luggage compartment, I will install the decoder. And the benefit is that the decoder will as such be installed last, so that it will be easier for all the wiring to put away. The Fala instruction manual itself gives very good instructions how to change the charging pins and the on-off switch. So we are not going to talk about how to do all the electronics. The focus of this video is in fact to show how to put all this stuff in an existing bus in an elegant way. To get AAA batteries in the center as low as possible, I at the end decided to cut away all the chairs in the center and even the floor and install that a new 1mm floor with a small plexi plate and reinforce that floor on the underside with an U-profile, as you can see. I painted the batteries black so that you don't see from outside the bus that there are inside batteries. So here you see in fact the reinforcement of the floor of the bus. Yeah, the floor reinforcement was needed because I had cut away so many of the seats that the existing model's bus floor was in fact totally destroyed. So I had to make a new one. So the batteries are in place between the chairs, and you also see in fact there where I installed the temperature sensor for the batteries. All the wiring goes to the floor and will be later on connected to the decoder. The original interior is actually fitting perfectly well inside the body of the bus. But if you're going to install the LEDs from the rear lights and the front lights in the corners of the bus, you may damage the wiring of these LEDs when you put the interior back in the body. So I cut away some plastic in the corners. So here we see I've cut the hole in the roof of the bus for placement of the satellite receiver. You can see that also on the inside. And I have already placed the LEDs for the front lights, rear lights and directional lights. So I've installed the satellite receiver sensor in place in the roof, and also I installed 3 white LEDs in the ceiling of the bus, which will act for the interior light. So everything is in fact in place in the bus body in terms of LEDs. So here again we see all the 11 LEDs installed in the body of the bus, 3 ceiling LEDs and 8 LEDs for the rear front lights and the directional lights. Of course we're going to test everything before we're going to close the bus. So here we can clearly see that the wiring of the ultrasonic capsule and the wiring of the battery is all going through the interior floor of the bus. So here you can see that the decoder nicely fits between the front and the back wheels. You also see about 22 wires which we have somehow to hide away. And the good thing is that between the front wheels we can let a few of those wires pass. All the 22 wires are now soldered to the decoder. You see in the center the wiring from the battery, the ultra shell capsule, all going through the center of the interior. And then on the outside we see the wiring from the LEDs, from the lights front and back, and they will be moving through the cut out corners. Also important to see here is that there is enough space between the front wheels to let the wires pass from the front to the decoder. And this is very important in this model. And we see the decoder fits nicely in between the front and the back wheels. During the entire construction I continuously test the lights so that there is no wire broken, and here I'm going to make a final check of all the functionalities before we're going to close up the bus. So, time to test out all the functionality on the road. First the front lights, the right direction indicator and the left direction indicator, the big lights and big lights continuously. And then the interior lights, the 3 LEDs which I mounted inside the cabin. And now it's time to drive and see how the bus performs on the road. The motor is a little bit old, so it makes a little bit cranky noise, but otherwise the bus drives nicely.